Welcome to the Manager Essentials course. My name is Dan. I work on the workplace team. I'm joining you from Facebook headquarters here in Menlo Park, California. And I'm just going to give a quick intro for the session today and hand it over to Nicolette and our partner at SADA Systems. On behalf of the entire Facebook team, I wanted to extend a very warm welcome and a thank you for your time. It's great to see all of you for this training on Manager Essentials. A little bit about me. So I've managed global teams. I've, like many of you, been a manager. I work with a manager, and I have a really cool job in that I get to work with companies and customers that use Workplace every day. And one of the key things that we found that makes their deployments successful and people happy and why they keep coming back is because their managers and the people that actually lead people are invested. And that's why we wanted to talk about this today. So what we found and what we're going to share are some of the behaviors that make managers really successful and their people really successful. Things like how to set objectives and how you communicate them, how you get and receive access to internal resources, how as a manager you can show care and provide recognition to your team, and ultimately showing you some very tactical ways by which we all actually really do use Workplace to manage, guide, and lead our teams. One of the outcomes that we hope that you have from today is that you learn how to reduce how you can use things like email as an example with your teams to keep everyone up to date. And we're going to share some best practices with a real live interview with a real live manager at the end of the session so you can hear some best practices from people that really do this. A little bit about SADA before I hand it over. They're one of our great workplace partners that helps customers like you get up and running successfully and actually do a lot of the things we're going to be talking about today. And we asked them to join us for this session based on their deep expertise in not only using Workplace themselves, but also how they've deployed, integrated, and developed on the Workplace platform. So you're going to see some really cool things that they've built today. All right, enough from me. Nicolette, I'm going to hand it over to you and the team to take it away for Workplace Manager Essentials.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining. Again, my name is Nicolette, and I'm really excited to lead you through our two-part Manager Essentials series. Today's session will focus on team groups, and the next section on April 26th will focus on one-on-one groups. So a little bit about SADA. SADA was founded in 2000, and it's headquartered in Los Angeles, California. We have an office in DC and engineers and sales folks kind of sprinkled throughout the United States. Our history is pretty unique. We actually started as a managed services company in 2000, and then in 2006, we started our first Google practice. We started by helping migrate universities to the G Suite platform. And then we helped build some of the first scripts that allowed for the transition from on-prem infrastructure up into the cloud. Shortly thereafter, Microsoft actually came knocking on our door and said, hey, this cloud thing is actually really taking off, and we have no partners that know how to do this today. So they actually created something called the Microsoft Cloud Accelerate Partner Program, and that's how we joined the Microsoft ecosystem. So when Facebook approached us, it only made sense that we would naturally engage as a partner to help grow and develop the platform, and to ensure companies like yourselves have strong business use cases to use Workplace in your day-to-day activities, which is one of the main goals of Workplace, focusing on the people side of change. Employees and managers of organizations are the ones who actually create change and ensure that the change sticks. So SADA helps organizations make new and upcoming changes fun and exciting. We've seen the most success when we integrate Workplace into your everyday workflows and build custom integrations. And you'll get a sneak peek at that today. So first we'll kick off our series. We'll discuss the role managers play in building a strong community, how to engage employees with team groups. We'll hear from a real live manager on the benefits of team groups and show you what this actually looks like in Workplace. And then on April 26th, we'll talk about the importance of feedback and one-on-one groups. More oftentimes than not, we don't have time to provide feedback or host one-off conversations. So one-on-one groups really provide a great platform for managers to continue conversations, assign tasks, and keep track of progress and collaborate. We do hope that you can make both series. However, we do realize that as managers, your days are quite busy. So you can find a recording of this session on our multi-company group. Everyone who has registered for the session and has a valid workplace account has been invited to our multi-company group, where you'll be provided an abundant amount of resources. Now, some of us may be asking, well, what's a multi-company group? A multi-company group is a group where you can chat with external organizations. Now, there are many different ways you can interact with us during the series. You can join us live here for the webinars. You can join our MCG, which many of you have already done and are participating. Thank you. Again, an MCG is a multi-company group where you can collaborate, ask questions, discuss ideas, and more with other organizations like yourself. We will be asking that you interact via the multi-company group, the Manager Essentials MCG, where you can post your take-home activities and uncover how other managers like you are taking advantage of Workplace. If you're not part of the group, please feel free to reach out to workplace@sadasystems.com, and you can easily sign up for Workplace. We'll add you to the manager's MCG if we receive that email. And feel free to include any other attendees from your organization who might benefit. If you have an active Workplace account but are not part of the MCG, you may have to ask your admin to enable the ability to join external multi-company groups. We also hope that after each session, you will engage in your team by participating in the take-home activities. We'll walk you through each of the activities during the sessions and provide you with examples. The goal here is to engage your team through Workplace. The best part is these activities will be posted in our MCG, and the managers who participate each week and provide the most value will win a prize. And don't forget, the dialogue does not stop after the series. Feel free to continue posting and asking questions in the Manager Essentials MCG. Both SADA team members and Workplace team members will be a part of the group to help address your questions. Okay, so enough housekeeping. Let's actually talk about what we're going to discuss today. As managers, we're often in the middle of the hierarchy and are the main drivers of change and adoption. However, this can be quite unwieldy at times. And research by government-backed task force Engage for Success demonstrates that middle managers have a key role in embedding change. But when it comes to establishing new and more social ways of working, managers face a myriad of additional challenges. Unfortunately, the truth is that managers will not be well equipped to deal with the new demands placed on them by social networks. And some of those demands might be learning to manage teams that are increasingly remote, or building a personal brand on Workplace that really resonates with your team. Maybe working out loud and giving up some of those ways that you would communicate naturally via email. So today we're going to discuss how team groups can help relieve some of your management anxieties. We'll discuss a Workplace overview so you understand what the platform looks like and maybe how to use it. We'll dive into team groups. We'll give you an overview of what a team group looks like. We'll interview that real-life manager, and we'll hop into some activities. At the end, we'll have plenty of time for Q&A via the Workplace Manager Essentials MCG. So what are the objectives of today? The objectives of today's session is to help build an understanding of what a team group is and how managers like you can use that group. Additionally, how the team group will further engagement. So let's go ahead and start. I bet you're wondering what Workplace is. Workplace is an internal private social network used to assist communication within your business. Gallup states that the majority of workers now expect to work out of social platforms. So Workplace is a great fit for this. Workplace helps your employees stay organized, on task, and in sync with each other. It's also typically used across teams and within teams or departments. To be candid, us as managers need to be the owners of our team group and encourage team members to use the group to get work done. At times, this does mean asking folks to move their email or maybe chat conversations into the correct group. So now that you have a high-level understanding of Workplace, let's go ahead and discuss what a team group is and why it might be important for you as a manager. According to Gallup, the majority of U.S. employees show up at their job every day without guidance. Now, only 33% of those employees are actively engaged, and a mere 21% strongly agree that their performance is managed in a way that motivates them to do outstanding work. And only 18% strongly agree that employees who perform better grow faster at their organizations. However, when you look at engaged employees, you see a 41% reduction in absentee and a 17% increase in productivity. So one of the greatest shortcomings of traditional systems is the lack of ongoing conversation and peer-to-peer coaching. Organizations are realizing that ongoing conversations actually may be the missing link in building strong teams, ultimately resulting in a successful organization. But there's a huge caveat here. Managers, like us, have to understand how to have effective ongoing conversations with their employees. Unfortunately, Gallup research suggests that many managers struggle in this area due to the lack of time to sit down with each employee and lacking the tools needed to have visibility into their employees' day-to-day activities. Here's where team groups and one-on-one groups can positively impact your life as a manager. Employees need a well-defined set of expectations and goals to help them perform with excellence. Clarity about specific job duties provides them with direction and areas to focus on for their day-to-day work. So let's show you how team groups can actually increase collaboration and set the course of day-to-day duties and create a cohesive team. So as you are well aware, team groups are a great way to increase engagement and build a more cohesive team. The group will also provide a level of transparency lacking in email. So here I'm going to begin by jumping into my Workplace team group. And today, I'm going to act as the manager as my Workplace team. And due to traveling, my team schedule, and meetings that I have, I really have a difficult time ensuring my team stays engaged and on track. So I've decided to create a team group. My team group will allow me to easily have visibility into what my team is working on. And more oftentimes, we need to provide guidance on specific items that our team is working on. So I'll also be able to do that in the team group. The team group will help me focus on pressing items, as the group will provide a platform for my team to work together, ask questions, and provide feedback as I travel or have those busy scheduled meetings. So let's hop into my Workplace team group here. And you'll notice that I have a catchy photo at the top. And my first post clearly defines the purpose of this group. The purpose will ensure my team knows what and how to use the group. Additionally, since my organization's documents are scattered across 10,000 different places, I've actually ended the post with a team wiki. So this will provide my team with an additional place to look for documentation. This way my team is not reaching out to me or any other members asking where certain items live. Everything is easily accessible right here on our team group. So now that we've seen a purpose statement example, let's discuss team goals. 6 out of 10 employees say they do not know what they're working on towards as a team. So posting your goals here in the group or as a document will provide visibility into the team's goals. So here I've created a document, and inside of that document I have our team goals. Have you ever heard of the novel The Secret? One theory The Secret proposes is that seeing a goal continuously throughout the day or multiple times a week increases the chance of that object actually happening. So we walk that same line here. The team goals are posted in a document, and each user is assigned their individual KPIs in their one-on-one group, which we'll discuss on April 26th. This way they know exactly how they're contributing towards the team. Now, if you don't have team goals, that's okay. You can create 3 goals that you would like your team to work towards, maybe towards the end of Q2. Post them in a document in your team group, or you can add them to the purpose statement that's pinned at the top. The team group is a great way, again, to keep track of those milestones and action items. So that was how to use a team group to set and track goals. Let's discuss one of my favorite workflows. It's called roll call. So I'm going to actually exit out of my goals here, and I'm going to scroll down my discussion board, and I'm going to find some of my roll call activities. So here we have a couple. For managers, especially those with large teams, it can be quite challenging to get in the line of sight into every team member and understand really what they're working on for the week. Conducting a team roundup at the beginning of every work week can help overcome this issue. Each Monday, kick off a thread in your workplace team group. Have each member post the top 3 activities that they're working on for that week. This process not only provides you as the manager transparency, but other members as well, which can really help eliminate redundant workflows, combine efforts around similar projects, identify resources outside of the team to maybe help move that initiative along, and a lot more. Many teams conducting weekly roundups have been able to reduce their team meetings from weekly or bi-weekly or maybe even monthly, freeing up time for everyone. It's also made team meetings more effective by focusing only on the issues that truly need more conversation. So our purpose is to complete goals. Our goals are posted. Each member is posting their activities. Now we're going to review SADA's custom integration that connects with your calendar. And we are offering this free as part of our business implementation package to schedule a team meeting. So here in my group, we are going to schedule a team meeting. And many managers we have spoken with ask about the events portion of Workplace. The majority of desk workers live and breathe their calendars. So SADA has created an integration that allows you to schedule events in a group, and it'll then place that event on each individual's default email calendar. On top of that, when an invitee accepts, declines, or tentatively accepts, that response will display in the Workplace event updates. So let's check this out. In my group here, I've actually created a team meeting. So here's my team meeting. I've added a photo. I have my team meeting on April 13th from 11 to noon, where it's located. And I've even invited all of my group members. Let's take a look at what that looks like in my email. Today I'm using Gmail. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my Gmail account, and there's the email. I have a new event, team meeting. I, as the organizer, have already accepted this meeting because I'm the organizer. So by default, it will automatically add this to your calendar. You'll notice I can see the title, the date, the time, who's joining that meeting, and the workplace details below. Let's jump into our calendar. Again, I'm going to use my Google Calendar. And here on my calendar, I have my team meeting. Oh, looks like my team meeting actually overlaps with this webinar. So this is SADA's custom calendar integration, and it works with all the common email systems, Google, Outlook, Office 365, and more. The integration allows managers and employees to work in Workplace and ensure the events are scheduled on their everyday calendar. Lastly, I'm going to jump back into our team group here, and I want to talk to you about public acknowledgement. So I'm going to go back into our Workplace team, and I'm going to scroll down to my public acknowledgement here, or praise, for Tom Brady. So publicly acknowledging great work or effort is hugely effective and can really boost employee engagement and morale and encourage the more desired behaviors from your team members. A Workplace team group is a great place to showcase your team's successes. And this tends to be most effective when managers showcase success that is aligned to your broader team goals. Some companies have created a praise hashtag, such as the one you see here, Make Them Rave and Rockstar. This will specifically be used for this type of showcase. This also allows them to broadcast these examples, maybe using an API to show on monitors throughout headquarters or other remote offices, or maybe even integrating it into your company feedback system. So when it comes time for reviews, all of that praise that was directed at Tom will display on Tom's feedback profile. Okay, so now that we've discussed why team groups are important and uncovered a few ways to engage your team, let's go ahead and hear from Jessica Hilton, a manager at SADA Systems who has really embraced the power of team groups. Hi, Jessica.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's fabulous.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. My pleasure.
So we just have a few questions for you. Regarding Workplace, what did you do before you used Workplace with your team?
Sure. So over the past several years, we've actually gone through a few platforms, 3 platforms, actually. And due to low adoption, we wound up emailing each other quite a bit because we didn't have a common place to go and work. So due to that inefficiency, again, email was really the top place where we would go to work, sending attachments back and forth to one another. So it was really disjointed. And the other piece of that is when folks would leave the company, they would also take that information, they would take those conversations with them. So we'd find ourselves having the same conversations over and over again.
Interesting. So how has Workplace really changed your life based upon the old way of working and the new way of working?
Sure. So Workplace has actually put our dialogues out loud, if you will. I heard you use that term earlier, and that's a great term for it. So it's put our dialogues out loud. We're able to tune in and out of conversations as we need to. So in traveling and being on the road, I don't have to, be overwhelmed by seeing a long list of emails that I haven't read yet. I can just go onto my Workplace feed, and I can choose the groups and the conversations that are most important to me. I also like the fact that you can, employee engagement is actually more transparent on Workplace. So before, while there was employee engagement, it was harder to see. With Workplace, I can actually see what people are doing. I can see the great work that they're doing, even people sharing photos and live streaming. In fact, we live streamed our company All Hands in January, which is great, the CEO's keynote. Anybody who was part of that or even who wanted to watch it back or who's not physically present had an opportunity to see that.
That's awesome. So your remote employees might have been engaged also then.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wonderful. So now that you're working in Workplace, what are your top 3 objectives as a manager at SADA? And how has Workplace really helped you facilitate those objectives?
Sure. So one is, as a manager, one of my top objectives is to provide improved coaching and feedback to my team. So that's important just for constant feedback. You know, gone are the days where we meet once a year to talk through goals and everything. So constant feedback. One also is to continue to streamline our processes in the way that we work so we can be more effective and efficient, and to eliminate any, you know, kind of dual working that folks are doing. And then to be positively engaged in the company culture, and to also lead the way as the leader of my team and in my company in being positively engaged.
Awesome. So how are you leveraging Workplace to facilitate those objectives?
So we've done a couple of things. One is we have created a team group so that all of us in our team can quickly communicate, and we do have the post at the top just stating the objectives of the group. So one of the things is any non-urgent items are to go to our Teams group, and that's where we go to gather feedback on documentation, to throw any questions, getting advice, gathering resources. For example, yesterday I needed to communicate with the team you know, who has a webinar that some newer hires can sit in on, and so looking for that information. So Workplace was a great group for that. We also have created one-on-one groups, so it's just a way where me and you know, some of the people on my team, we can have a space one-on-one where we can communicate and work together. It's also when we have our regular one-on-one meetings, we can each put in whatever we'd like to cover in those meetings.
Awesome.
And again, it's in one central location.
Great. So after working in Workplace a little bit, what are your next steps in bringing Workplace into your processes and really ensuring that your team uses Workplace in their day-to-day activities?
So I'd like to continue building out processes in Workplace. I think that we have just gotten the tip of the iceberg in terms of working, you know, within groups. I would love to see us working more, what's the term, intra-group, in different groups that we have, or inter-group. So my team, along with some other teams, and part of the project team, maybe having groups for different various projects that we're on. So really ingraining more of the processes that we are in and day out into Workplace. So that really is our one-stop shop for information.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. I would like you to stay on for a moment. We're just going to go over a few more things and make sure that Jessica stays with us so she can answer any questions that might come up during our Q&A time. So moving right along here, we do want to talk a little bit about our follow-up activities. We do have a couple follow-up activities that we'd like to ask that you participate in our MCG. So our follow-up activities, we're going to ask that you bring in actually another member from your team to be kind of a peer-to-peer and really understand maybe the different ways that your peer manager is also using Workplace. We like to think that two is better than one. Also, to have you and your peer manager create a team group. So within your separate team groups, we are really going to create those groups that will allow you to have that visibility into what your team is working on, and more oftentimes than not, again, provide guidance within a more visible platform. Make sure that your group has a clear objective and purpose, and make sure to invite all of your team members. Next, we're going to make sure that we have our team goals in that group. So whether you pin your goals to the top of that purpose statement, or maybe create a document and posting those team goals inside of that team group. Again, if you don't have team goals, that's okay. You can go ahead and create a few, maybe that you want to work on towards the end of the second quarter here, and use those to kind of track your key performance indicators with your team. And lastly, next week, it's going to come really fast, conduct that roll call. So each Monday, go ahead and kick off the thread in your Workplace team group, having each member post their top 3 activities that they're working on for that week. And don't forget to post yours. Remember, lead by example. Again, once we've created that team group, pinned our purpose and team goals, and each member, including yourself, has posted his or her 3 activities, make sure that you post screenshots in our Manager Essentials MCG and explain how posting the team members' weekly activities has really created collaboration and direction. If you want to take it one step further, we'd love for you to specify the challenges the team group has helped overcome and maybe explain some new ways that you'll be using the team group and even provide some examples. Remember, the managers who participate in both session activities and exemplify the most employee engagement will win a prize at the end of the series. And with that, we'll actually take some live Q&A for myself and Jessica. Now that we've discussed team groups and that engagement is important and how we can use Workplace to increase engagement, we saw what it may look like and spoken to Jessica. And let's take some of those questions from the audience. So let's see, how do you create a team wiki? Amanda, you can create a team wiki, but it's as simple as creating a post and using the simple header options to create a team wiki. Make sure you format your posts and then you can hyperlink those out to specific documents or maybe even to other platforms that your employees have access to. For the team wiki links, do they link content within the group or external platforms? So both, Chris, great question. They'll link both to folks or places within inside of your workplace or external platforms. How do I keep my team on track with project changes? So Jessica, do you want to take this one?
So Workplace is a great place to keep teams on track with project changes. Again, having that work out loud functionality available, it's really easy to pivot and to get your team on track and really help them to prioritize just through communicating through the feed. So an example of this would be if there's any kind of team change, you can write a post to announce whatever that change is, and then you can also call out people specifically for any specific action items that you'd like them to take. So that will really help. You can even go as far as using some of the formatting and the bullet points just to note, here are the top 3 things that we really want to focus on this week, and you can always reply back with any updates, and again, looping in anybody else that you need.
Awesome. And do you use hashtags at all?
Yeah, hashtags are great, again, because hashtags provide searchable content. So you could have a hashtag for that particular project, and then that'll be easy just to quickly find anything related to that project, service to the top.
Awesome. And let's see, Amanda, what do you think about Workplace from a knowledge management perspective? How easy is it for you to co-author documents? So Amanda, you can co-author documents within Workplace using the Create a Document section in your group. And we found this most effective when taking meeting notes or posting content that others need access to. How do let's see, what can SADA do to help us with adoption inside of Workplace? So SADA is a custom systems integrator. We focus highly on end user adoption and ensuring that your external systems outside of Workplace are actually integrated into Workplace to increase that engagement and adoption. We've seen the most success when we bring in those external places and you actually have one location inside of Workplace to perform your work. Again, such as the calendar integration or even integrating maybe your feedback systems. So where I post inside of the group for Tom example, and I use the hashtag #MakeThemRave, Workplace would then integrate with my feedback system, post that feedback inside of that platform, and if someone comments, maybe posting that comment back into Workplace. So they speak to each other quite nicely. Let's see, Yemi, does the integration allow for feeds and posts from email or external platforms to automatically post in Workplace? So Yemi, I'm pretty sure we just answered this where it does communicate back and forth dependent on the platform. We can definitely take that conversation more offline. And let's see, we have one more from Tom. Can we use Workplace in the future? Can we use Workplace in the future for training purposes instead of a webinar? I love this question. So you can do the live streaming You can also use the HD video conferencing inside of the chat platform. And that's actually a really good use case, Tom. We should test that out, Jessica.
Absolutely should.
Wonderful. Are there any other questions that we can get answered for you? All right. So to wrap it up, everybody, I wanted to thank you so much for taking time out of your day. We know that you are super busy. I also wanted to remind you to post in the MCG any outstanding questions or maybe use cases or challenges that you're experiencing so we can all work together to ensure that we're driving successful adoption. And lastly, don't forget to post your take-home activities within the Workplace MCG. Thank you so much, and have a happy Free Friday, everybody.